Talk Time is brought to you by Rinbar. Rinbare halodhia pora dur kore ek muhurtote.
Hello and welcome to Talk Time. My guest today is one of Assam's most versatile and popular actors, Kopil Bora. Kopil Bora, welcome to my show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Kopil, we are now in the 100 years of the Indian cinema. We have seen lots of ups and downs, lot of different kinds of trends taking over, even the audience's taste also changing over the years. How do you look at it, the changing trend in Indian cinema?
First of all, cinema, I think, is a very interesting medium for everyone, because it's larger than life. Everyone wants to see themselves on the screen. They feel a part of cinema. So for everyone, cinema is part of the growing up years, and till you die, you keep on watching cinema. Likewise, Indian cinema has also evolved over the years, and there has been, when we were growing up, there were films which were slightly blatant in the way they express their emotions, in the dances and their songs, but now things have become more realistic over the years, and because Indian theatre, Indian drama is basically very loud and melodramatic, so it also got reflected in the way things were projected on screen in cinema. So it was melodramatic, there were songs and there were very loud sequences, but now things have changed because of the exposure to world cinema, because of the exposure to literature. So things have changed and it's becoming more realistic, and it's actually projecting and portraying what's happening in society.
So you're saying that it has becoming more realistic because of exposure to literature, world cinema. That's absolutely right. But my question to you, Kopil, is that with the advent of technology, see, if we talk about movies in the 50s, 60s, the technology was not that developed as we have it today. Right. Now, do you think the advent of technology has actually propelled some not so good actors also into a certain limelight, because certain things can be camouflaged with technology?
Yeah, not just actors, also singers. Nowadays there are tuners. We can make people who don't sing in tune seem as if they are singing in tune. But yes, technology, and you know what, it's cinema is an absolute director's medium. So a director can actually manipulate things in such a way that a very average actor can look like a good actor. But apart from everything, you cannot cheat the audience these days.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you cannot cheat the audience, because the audience is also very intelligent.
The audiences are also technologically sound.
Yes, and they're very intelligent, so you cannot cheat the audience. So, very below average performers, they don't last long.
They don't last long. That is the bottom line. Yes. Now, you see, we also have this debate as we analyze various aspects of Indian cinema over the years. There is this traditional debate of mainstream cinema versus regional cinema, and you yourself have been in cinema in Assam since 2000, although you have been acting in theatre much before that. How do you look at this debate? What are your thoughts?
Because see, ultimately it boils down to the money part. You see, it's about the market. Because regional cinema caters to a very small market. When we talk about Assamese cinema caters to the market in the Brahmaputra Valley. Beyond that, there's no market as such for mainstream Assamese cinema. So that conflict will always be there. Just for example, the film released, which I had released just a few days back, that is Duar.
Duar.
Yes. So Duar, we were finding it so hard to get theatres, to get shows for our film, because there were big releases. There were Dabang, there was Talash, and there were big releases. So we were finding the theatre owners were very reluctant to give us shows, because they had those major shows. So that kind of a conflict will always be there, I think, because we cater to a smaller market, the regional cinema. But now I think regional cinema in different parts of the world, in the country, are evolving and are really developing in a big way.
But cinema, as you know, is a medium that has absolutely no barriers. Language has no barriers. People can appreciate cinema even if you don't know the language. You see, my question to you, Kopil, is that without regional cinema, there cannot be Indian cinema, really. And a lot of people, including Jahnu Barua, they said that they hate the term Bollywood because they said that it has to be called Indian cinema, not really Bollywood.
Right. Absolutely. Even I don't like. I despise the word Bollywood. It's just a cheap copy of Hollywood.
Yeah.
But I think it should be Indian cinema or Hindi cinema, whatever. So yes, a regional cinema has to be like. For example, I always tell people of the younger generation that if you don't know Assamese, if you don't know your mother tongue, I mean, you can never be good in the other languages. You have to be good in your own language. You have to respect your own mother to respect someone else's mother. So I think I always tell my audience whenever I go to school. A few days back I was in a school function. I was telling the students that please come and watch our films in the theatre because you should know what Assamese cinema is all about. I mean, for example, Jahnu Borua's films get so many awards. So people should have the inquisitiveness, the interest to go and watch the cinema in the theatre. For example, Malaya Goswami got the award for the Best Actress in 1992. And Piringoti was a not very successful film in the theatres. People, I mean, people should go and watch these films. I mean, why did this actress win the award? What was the reason? They should go and watch. I mean, that was the only national award we have in the acting category.
Yeah. Why? Talking about that, you know, why do you think people don't watch Assamese cinemas? Don't crowd the theaters? Okay, a certain section of people go.
They do, but in between there was a few problems. Halls, you know, there are a few theaters have, you know, decreased number of theaters.
Is it because the masala element is lacking? Is it?
No, but you see, if we give too much of masala, people don't like it also. In regional cinema, in Assamese cinema, in Bengali cinema, in Malayalam cinema, you know, you cannot make them direct copies of Hindi cinema. They won't like it. Because you have to appeal to the local ethos. You have to appeal to the local senses, you see. Because you cannot make a total... Then they'll go and watch the Hindi movie.
But why is that, you know, the poor boy meets a rich girl's daughter? Can't we really break free from that kind of an image? Why do we have to see all there always a rural landscape?
Yeah, we have to. And even in the rural landscapes, there have been so many beautiful films. For example, a film like Holodhar by Sanjeev Hajarka. Yeah. Wonderful film. That is in a rural setting. It's about this one man who steals a plow. So those kind of films are always there. So I think our problem is that we don't rely on our literature, which is very rich. You see, there are so many short stories, there are so many good writers, literateurs. We can adapt their stories into films.
Absolutely, that's an extremely good point you're making.
Yes.
We have the story right there, but we are unable to mine it.
Yes.
So data mining is necessary. We have the resources.
Absolutely, we have the resources, and we have the literature, and we have so many interesting stories. Even when we go through those Puja special issues of the newspapers, long time back, you can find 15 years back, there are so many good short stories which can be made into films in the present milieu. But, you know, filmmakers, you know, blindly copy. And you know what, in Assam, what happens is that, for example, Munin Bora made a Ramdhenu, which was a successful film.
Yeah.
The moment Ramdhenu was successful, there are so many people who are inexperienced and who have come to make films.
Started
making films.
More or less on that theme, on that line.
Not just on that theme, but who got the courage to make films. And they have never assisted anyone. They have never been trained in cinema. They have never been, you know, to a film set, but they start making films. Because films is such a glamorous for them. Yeah. Film is just about glamour. But film is not just about glamour. It's about making a product which appeals to the senses of the masses.
Absolutely. On that note, we shall go for a short break now. But stay on. When I come back, I'm going to talk to Kopil Bora about his film that has just been released, Duar, and his future projects.